Good evening, Columbus Lions fans. Welcome to this edition of Roar Time, the Columbus Lions Coaches Show with head coach, director of football operations, Jason Gibson, your host, Rick Jacobson. And we are now one home game into the season of 2019. Not the result we hoped for, with the Jacksonville Sharks beating the Lions fairly soundly, 48-24, but a very positive night from the standpoint of big crowd enthusiasm, a lot of new amenities and perks and entertainment features at the Civic Center.
It's come a long way in 13, 14 years. I liked it. It was fun. There was a lot of groups there, CTV Beam, Spring Harbor. I knew you had some groups, Tuesday Tacos, Truck. Angie and them got married. Not at the game, but congratulations to them. So a lot of people were there. It was a great night. It was a Friday night. I know we discussed off camera different things about a Friday night versus a Saturday night game. There's obviously some difficulties there. I enjoy Friday night because you get Saturday, Sunday off. But when you go 0-2 and you lose a home game, you don't get Saturday, Sunday off because you got to go work because you beat yourself up all weekend like what happened. So,
a bit of a decompression weekend, and certainly early in the business week, we had a lot of work to do and a lot of staff discussion about things that we need to improve on before we come home in 2 weeks.
People have no idea, and you do, and we talked about this, about what goes on behind the scenes Monday up until those gates open at 6 o'clock. I mean, it is hectic. You're running around. We're running around. You got interns showing up. You got people that, first-time game day ops, and you're trying to fulfill the customer experience and the fan experience. That's what it's about. The football takes care of itself. We've been 16-0 and had 900 people in the arena. Doesn't matter. You got to entertain people. That's what it is, and put on a good product. And I thought you guys did a good job, but it's a lot, and you know that. I mean, you dealt with some difficulties as well.
I wanted to ask you about that from the football perspective. On the business side, opening on a Friday night presents all kinds of business challenges on top of what you're trying to do normally on a quiet weekend day. From a football player's perspective, do you have to deal with distractions on a Friday?
They don't. They wake up and show up and go to play. Our standpoint, we were there at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. from a staff standpoint because your word is everybody sign up. Do you have the right tickets? And, of course, tickets it's a good problem and a bad problem. You have so many people, because we had so many more people at the games this year, that presents more chances for issues with tickets. And that's always an issue. Not that bad, but there's always going to be a hiccup. You just got to move through it. But from a football standpoint, it's not bad. I think it gives you more time to rest up. It shortens your work week. But it's not bad, Rick, if it's the first game of the year because you've been going through training camp. So whether the first game's on a Thursday or a Friday, it's not a big deal. Now, if you play on a Saturday night and get home Sunday and then you play on Friday, now that's a big deal. Now you're shortening your week, but opening game wouldn't matter. I would love Friday night opening games every year. I'd love to make that like a tradition, but who am I?
You're important in creating that decision. But I do want to emphasize that it was a sort of a unique experience to have what happens on a weekday added to the mix of all the preparation that goes into putting on a game.
I think it would be fun as a ticket holder that, you go to work Friday, you're eating lunch, you're looking at the clock, you're waiting for 5 o'clock to hit, you run home, grab the kids, go down to the Civic Center, watch some football, hang out, have a great night. Hopefully we win. We should. But we didn't. And then you got the whole weekend. Sometimes, sometimes in the summertime, when we play, you're out there at the porch or you're cutting grass and, tying up to go to a Saturday night game might be a little difficult.
Yeah, and one-day weekends are not anyone's favorite, are they?
Right. Yeah, no kidding.
But anyway, I'd be in favor of the Friday nights for sure, but I'd like to see ours a little bit deeper into the season.
What about second Wednesdays after church? No, just throwing it out there. Anyway.
Yeah, I have a minor league baseball background, so I have an opinion about every day of the week. Playing games. When you've done 14-game homestands with a couple doubleheaders in there.
Well, we could barely go 2 games without getting hurt. I can't imagine playing 14 games without guys getting hurt. We'd be all banged up. So.
Well, that's why they have those deep rosters.
Yeah.
And I guess, like I say, we get back to the tenor of the game itself.
Right.
And not by far the Lions' finest moment, but this may be a reflection on Jacksonville's need to come back after a poor road opener. Were you surprised at the tenacity and skill they played with?
Well, they have a lot of vets. I knew that. I knew they had good vets. They, of course, they had Jarman, and they had Duron Neal, and they had Jonathan Bain, and all these vets in the game. You know, we come out first drive, we score. I was like, okay, well, you know, we're doing pretty good. And of course, they came down and scored. And I think the next drive, I mean, the first quarter we were down 18-8. We missed a chance to score in the red zone to make it 18-16. There's just so many opportunities we missed throughout the game. And when you, except for that first drive, we trailed the entire game. It was always playing catch up, but we were always still in the game. Mm-hmm. And you know, the first touchdown of the game was to Paris Mack, but, you know, we had pressure in Luke's face. Luke was getting hit if you watched the film. As soon as he threw the ball, he had, you know, Jacksonville guy in his face. We didn't protect well. We gave up more sacks in one game than we gave up all last year.
So, in this bye week, what do you do to counter that?
Well, looking back at the game, the main thing is there's a coach is saying, you're never as good as you think you are, and you're never as bad as you think you are. So sometimes you win a game, you want to pat yourself on the back, you go watch the film, and you're like, wow, maybe we probably shouldn't have won that game. And then sometimes when you watch film and you lose, okay, we didn't play that bad. It was just a couple plays. No, we played that bad. We played that bad. Now, I told the players this. Here's the really bad news. We are horrific on offense right now. We're bad.
Strong word.
We're bad. We're bad on offense. We didn't protect. We're 50% completion. You know, I got new pieces of the puzzle. We're just bad. Now, here's the crazy news. We outgained them offensively.
Was a lot of that playing catch up, or is it true supremacy?
No, they have the ball the same amount of times we do. But we outgained them. We outgained Orlando. I showed in practice the other night, I showed 5 clips, 5 minutes. We had the ball on the 1 yard line, Rick. We didn't score.
Now,
We missed the
what
block.
happened there?
We missed the block on the quarterback sneak. So then it's second goal from the 2. We go to run a toss. We jump off sides.
Oh.
We jump off sides. They back it up 5 yards, and then we get we don't score from there. That's one touchdown. Third quarter, Paris Mack's wide open down the middle of the field on a switch route. We botched the blocking scheme. As soon as Luke takes the ball to drop back, the linebacker comes through clean as day, smacks him right in the mouth. Paris is standing wide open. That's 2 touchdowns. Then we throw a pick in the red zone. That's 3 touchdowns. So I had 3 touchdowns to 48-24. Plus they made 3 deuces, so that's another 6 points. And as crazy as it sounds, we had the ball in the fourth quarter, down by 2 scores, with a chance to cut it to 1 score. We had a chance to cut the score. At one point, it was 38 to, or was it 38 or 39? I think it was 38 or 39 to 24. It was 39-24.
That's what I recall.
It was 39-24. We had the ball going in to score inside the red zone to make it a 39-31 football game. 1-score game. But we miss a block and get a strip sack fumble. And then they score to kind of blow it open. But that's what's crazy. As bad as we played, as horrific as we are in offense, and this is as bad as I've had, and they know this, I'm not saying anything the players don't know, we were still had a chance to be down. So that just shows you the potential. It'd be different if me and you were sitting here talking, and we are playing at the best we could play. No turnovers, no mistakes, no false starts, no anything. And we're losing this bad. We got major problems. We got major problems.
Well, am I to, and our viewership, to glean from this that the talent's there, there's just schematic problems?
It just takes time. It's just working with the same group. It'll take a little bit of time. Defensively, we're there. It's 2 games in a row we held teams under 50 points. Mm-hmm. And what's crazy is this. I left the field talking to the TV cameras, and I said, oh, you know what? Yeah, the offense is pretty bad right now, but defensively we're really good. I watched film. I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. You're not as good as you think you are. We have so much more improvement to do defensively, and we're still holding people under 50 points every game. So I think defensively we can get even better, which is scary. Offensively, we did some things this week. It will click in time. I mean, and I've said this before, and I'll say it on camera, Bones Bagante's leading the whole league in receiving. I knew he would, because every receiver that's in Columbus is going to lead the league in receiving. When you go other places, you won't. It's the bottom line.
Offensive line, the size, the talent, were they disappointing, or did they simply fail?
Rookies to the game. Just learn. I mean, Andre Walker's, he's a 40-game starter at USC. You don't start 40 games at Southern Cal. You don't go to play for the Dolphins and not be any good. He's just learning the arena game. It's a little different technique. Same thing with Austin Hester. So they can play. Unfortunately, we got to take the lumps on the chin early. Never want to play a game like that at home. That's I think the biggest disappointment was not the fact that we lost, being 0-2 or whatever. Playing that poor of a performance at home, which we've only lost 3 games at home in like 4 years.
Pretty impressive.
And so to be 0-2 is not a big deal. I kind of treated it like preseason anyway because I needed to figure out what we had. What if we'd gone out and squeaked that game out or squeaked out the Orlando game? You wouldn't make the changes that you need to make. I watch film of every team. I watch film of every game, whether you're 3-0 or 0-3. Some teams are as good as they're going to get right now. They're playing great football, and then it's not going to get any better because they're there. I was that team last year. We played really well early. We got to about week 10, and we just peaked, and there was nowhere else to go but down. It is what it is. We got nowhere else to go but up, not because of the record, because of how they're playing right now, and that's just where we are.
When Lions schedule resumes, it'll be Saturday, May 4th, and our opponent will be the Orlando Predators,
Correct.
who edged us on the road. A game you clearly said we should have won.
Yeah.
Do you see them staying at roughly the same level in Game 2 for them, for the Predators? They were shellacked by New York streets.
That was beating. They were beat pretty well up there. And then you obviously got to give New York credit. New York's playing well. E.J. Namath's as good as there is in the league. Right now, he's the best quarterback in the league.
Was with Lehigh Valley for some time.
Harrisburg, too. And Baltimore.
That's it.
It was a Baltimore team back in the old days. The Baltimore, not Brigade, Baltimore Mariners.
Okay.
I'm really reaching back now for that was Coach
SIFL days.
That was Coach Gibson, had a little flat top hair day. You talk about must wins. You talk about games you have to win. I got a home game versus Orlando this early in the season. That's no pressure, but it is. That's a must win game.
Have to say so.
It really
being
is.
0-3 in a 14-game season would not bode well.
It's not that you're 0-3. That's a game you got to win. It's a game we should have won for opening game. We could have, should have, would have, right? But we got to figure out a way to get better on offense. But with them coming in on the 4th, it's a huge game. I think they lost L.J. Castile, maybe to an injury. We got a bunch of injuries. Half our team's already banged up. It's week 2. So
any serious?
Who knows? But thank God for Houston Clinic and Encore Rehab. So they'll get us back in shape. A little plug.
Medical teams are very strong.
Yeah.
Before we go to commercial break, let me just ask you, because I didn't get a chance to see it, how the Rivertown GMC Buick truck giveaway promotion went.
I saw it on video. Obviously, she didn't make it, but it was a great promo. They got some nice trucks, man. Every time they bring those trucks down, wow. I get that much closer to buying one. So it's a smart business ploy by you guys at Rivertown. I know what you're doing. But she didn't make it. I think she kicked the ball like 7 yards or something like that. I had some people kind of harassing me, like, oh, I can't believe you picked her. It was a random pick. It was out of a jar. So it's not like we,
Well, I have that jar, and there are hundreds of
names.
Of drawings. And I did have an opportunity to see the rule sheet finally on our website. There were quite a few disqualifying conditions.
Couldn't be a pro player. You couldn't play pro football or college football in the last 5 years. The truck had to be turned sideways. But, it's supposed to be difficult, people. It was a $70,000 truck. We bought the insurance for it. So basically, the dealership wants you to win the truck because then they get the service points off of it.
But did you know that you couldn't be a high school football player in recent
within the
times?
last 5 years?
Rugby player, professional soccer. It was a great. It was meant for the average Joe fan.
Yeah, it was fun, but you know what? I've seen it's like winning the lottery. It's 1 in a million or whatever it is. So, if they could give away a truck and make it's like the hole. It's exactly like the hole in one at the golf course. How many times have you ever seen anybody make that?
Not with the car giveaway,
right?
Or the big cash prize. But
does anybody come and yell at you that the hole's too small? No, it's supposed to be hard. So,
and some courses have the big hole as part of their.
Did you see the back of that truck? See how big the back of that truck was? You can't punt a football in the back of that truck.
I personally did not, but
I tell you what, I'm going to set one up and I'm going to try it. I'm going to film it. And we're going to run it just to show that it can be done. And I'm going to do it in one try. At least I'm going to get close.
That's right.
At least I'll hit the rim, right?
And the contest rules said that the truck had to be placed lengthwise so that the cab could not act as a backstop.
Now, what would have really been difficult if they make the truck face you, if you have to go over the front and drop it in. No.
Our thanks to Rivertown.
It's great promotion.
GMC Buick for a wonderful promotion that gained a great deal of traction and attention. Let's take our first commercial break, Coach, and we'll come back and discuss a little bit about what's going on in the league and what the Lions have been doing in the community.
Sure.
Something interesting that started last night we'll discuss. Be back in just a moment.
Every day, men and women from communities across this nation serve as Reserve Citizen Airmen.
I am proud to defend our nation.
Proud to be part of a team that helps make a difference.
I am proud to be part of something larger than me and to serve my country.
We celebrate those who have served and those who are proudly serving in the Air Force Reserve. Our mission is to fly, fight, and win in air, space, and cyberspace.
I am proud to be a member. I am proud to protect our...
Proud to serve in the U.S. Air Force Reserve.
Thanks, Dr. J. My back feels so much better. Now tell me where I can go for my headaches.
Really? You don't need to go anywhere else. That's what we do.
Well, what about my shoulder?
That's what we do.
Pinched nerve?
That's what we do.
Well, what about disc problems?
That's what we do.
Sciatica?
With almost 500,000 patient visits over the last 34 years, don't just take my word for it. Ask a friend.
Call Dr. J. Broadwin and Associates today.
Welcome to the Columbus campus of Georgia Military College. At GMC Columbus, students participate in community events, community service, and student activities. Join the excitement at GMC Columbus, a college for its community. Apply today at gmc.edu.
Hi, I'm Charles.
And I'm Tony with Midas here in Columbus, Georgia.
Did you know that 84,000 people in the Chattahoochee Valley go hungry every day? So we partner with Feeding the Valley Food Bank here in Columbus, Georgia. Every oil change feeds up to 5 people, or you can drop off food donations at either one of our locations. Together we can drive out hunger.
Come visit us at either one of our Columbus locations. We're located at 315 13th Street or 1631 Manchester Expressway.
Back at Roar Time, folks, with Rick Jacobson and head coach of the Columbus Lions, Jason Gibson. And we're going to talk about National Arena League action in just a moment, but I think it takes second stage at the moment for what we went into the commercial talking a little bit about. Tell us about the brand new Lions Bowling League.
So Ashley Beaver put together a bowling league of Bolero here in Columbus. So every Tuesday night after practice, about 16 of the players play on teams. And we went bowling this week to get our average. So we had to bowl to get our handicaps. So we have a league scheduled for the whole season in a bowling league, which is kind of fun. It's great camaraderie for the players. And Bones Bagante shows up in a $200 pair or $250 pair of bowling shoes, carrying a bag. So I'm thinking, okay, I guess Bones has bowled a little bit. Well, at the end of the day, this guy goes out and bowls a perfect game. Unbelievable. I've never seen it. I've never seen it on TV. I've never seen it in real life. And he's unbelievable. It was hilarious. He had the whole bowling alley was watching, people videotaping it, social media. And on the last strike that he rolls, when he rolled it, he turned around and he knew it. And that sucker knocked it down, and he bowled a perfect game.
Bones continues to surprise us. I believe, although I couldn't back this up with statistics, that a perfect game in bowling may be rarer than a hole-in-one in golf.
Really?
Because it takes 12 actions versus one shot,
right,
and the odds are astronomical. I was a league bowler for a couple of years in the 1980s, so I had no excuse of not being in a regular rhythm. I was lucky to maintain 135, 140 average. You're talking more than twice that in a perfect game.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. But he did it. It was crazy. It was fun. So it was cool.
And to do it and light up in a bowling alley, a whole building.
There you go. Bones can bowl 300, leads the NL in receiving. I mean, what else?
Tell our fans.
He can kick.
Now, I understood that fans were welcome to bowl in this.
Right.
Tell us how you sign up and how it works.
That's just through Ashley Beaver. I'm not real sure. He just kind of told us to show up, and we did. And then they had fans that were there, and he divided the teams up into different teams. And That was your teams for the league, and it was pretty cool. So it's fun. It's good. It's good release for the players. Something to look forward to Thursday nights after practice. Kind of keep everybody together, those are the little things that at the end of the day, when we're hopefully sitting here on camera 8-9 weeks from now, we're talking about win streaks and things like that we can hang our hat on.
And it's kind of interesting. I got a text about this. I actually, for the Lions, sponsor a softball team in the Columbus Senior Softball League for those of us 50 and over. And our fellow staffer, Gail Tompkins, plays with us as the only woman in this league. But we're between games of a doubleheader when I get a text from a friend saying, "Why aren't you over here bowling in the Lions League?" And he is not a standard Lions staffer or regular at the games, but he is familiar with what I do, and apparently this is a big hit.
Well, it was great because there was a lot of really good bowlers there that frequent, that's what they do. That's their hobby or their sport, that they go Tuesdays and Thursdays. And it was really great to watch those guys interact and become fans of the Lions now. So now they didn't just see it as, hey, the Columbus Lions football team. They were like, oh my God, they were taking pictures with Bones and hanging out with the other players and building those relationships to where one guy can, hey, I just bought season tickets yesterday. And that's great, and that's what it's all about. And to be able to have the connections with the players and be able to have those relationships and know who they are, that's what makes Columbus really cool.
It kind of reminds me that I've got a customer, you may or may not know Laura Presley, who was a top assistant at Synovus in Phoenix City for many, many years. Laura's a league bowler.
Didn't know that.
And I don't know if she was there and knew about this, but I'm going to make sure she does.
Cool. Well, good.
Well, so there you have it, folks. There's the Lions Bowling League, and that will regularly be Tuesday nights.
Tuesday nights, 7:30.
And for those who didn't know, the Columbus Lions do sponsor a team in the Columbus Senior Softball League. Two of the other four sponsors, by the way, are funeral homes, looking for future talent and 60, 50 and up softball players, I guess. Another of our customers, by the way, sponsors a team in that league, and that would be Integrated Supply Company, as well as Striffler Hamby Mortuary. Let me mention, too, as we segue over to back to football, I guess I should say, perhaps a surprising result. I kind of expected this week the Massachusetts Pirates to come back and gain a split of the back-to-backs with the Carolina Cobras. What do you know about that one?
When I watched the game, I mean, I think Mass has got the same trouble we got right now. They're just struggling on offense. You know, it happens. You know, I think maybe when it starts clicking, it'll click, but they're struggling on offense to score points. I think it was 28-2. You know, just some of the things that, you know, it's just they're struggling.
Well, let me ask this. The Massachusetts Pirates, of course, were the team from which we got Bones Bagante. Have they replaced him with a big name that you recognize?
No, they lost a lot of players to some other leagues, and you know, they still have Sean Brackett, who's a really good quarterback. But you know, I haven't spent a ton of time watching. I kind of watched the film casually one time through just to kind of get a glimpse. But who knows? Who knows? I mean, I got my own issues to deal with. I don't know what they want. But it was kind of a shocker. I thought they put up a little better of a fight than what I saw on film. But you know, 0-2. Welcome to the club.
Right, and we'd have to say that league powers on an early, very early basis appear to be the New York Streets and the Carolina Cobras.
Correct.
We will see them before long.
Yes, we will. That's what's great about the league. Every game matters. I mean, you got Orlando coming. You got to win it. You know, and then I think we play Massachusetts. You got to win that one. Then we're back-to-back Carolina. So, you know, we could either start improving or we looking at a barrel 0-6. Who knows?
Well, that's never happened in your career, so I would like to.
Yeah, me too. I hope not.
Very unlikely that it will this year. But next two home games, May 4th. Let's talk a little bit about what's going to be going on. We are doing a first-time first responders night. And I know you've got some role in this, along with managing partner Josh Blair of the Lions. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us what will take place?
Yeah, I can't take credit for this one. Basically, Josh has worked out a deal to where we're going to do a first responders night. Everybody that's a first responder that shows their ID gets in the game for free. That's all I know.
Is the teddy bear toss happening?
No, we couldn't get it organized in time.
Yeah, that's something we'll bring back in the future, no doubt. The teddy bears are a symbol of what first responders give to kids who have either lost or their parents are in imminent danger in emergencies and tragedies. And so we had planned to have everybody buy and toss teddy bears on the field when the Lions score early for the first, and that'll come back, I'm sure, as we go forward. I'm looking forward to meeting with Central High School as we put together the fundraising night, help them pay their state championship expenses, and honor that 135-man or person team when you include the managers, the freshman academy team, and the JVs.
Yeah, it'll be good. I mean, congrats, a great state champions, a great game. They whooped Thompson up and down the field. So, congrats to Coach DeBose, and they'll be at the game. It'll be fun to help them, the school out, and it just goes back just, whether it was Smith Station Soccer, Harris County Football, Central High School, we got Aaron Cone coming up, Aaron Cone Middle doing a fundraiser, for Aaron Cone Middle doing a fundraiser for them as well. We just keep doing the right things for these schools and writing checks back to the community. And so winning on the field is obviously priority number one, but in the grand scheme of things.
And Central High principal Tommy Vickers, who is a National Guard reservist, has had a big part in helping put this together, along with superintendent over here of Phoenix City Schools, Randy Wilkes. I'm very excited. You've had some players from Central in past years.
Right.
We'll see if we can get perhaps the Darren Daniels out and so forth. Any others come to mind?
Darren Daniels, Alexander, Ramon Nickerson. That's the top three. Wow.
Some coaches too. Brandon Hall.
Brandon Hall was with them. Yeah, there's a bunch. Old staff member Norbert Sullivan's over there working with them. So a lot of connections, a lot of ties. Great facility. Obviously, it's the premier school in the state right now, and they're high on it, and they're doing a good job.
And that's coming from private Glenwood Schools head football coach. But the Central ties we have, Coach DeBose, fine man, got to meet him at the golf tournament last year, and we look forward to honoring the Central High state champions on Saturday, May 4th, along with the first responders who obviously play a major role in the Beauregard tornadoes and have done so many wonderful things to protect lives throughout the states of Alabama and Georgia. Look ahead momentarily to Saturday, May 11th. That's when the Massachusetts Pirates come in after the May 4th game, which features the Orlando Predators. And we've got Military Appreciation Night, always the biggest, perhaps, crowd of the year and highlights.
Right.
We're getting going on the military bus sales. You want to tell people how that works?
Basically, the military has cut back on all their funding and financing. So in order for us to help get the soldiers out here, we supply a lot of the tickets. But we always ask for support from businesses to help, because we have to write a check to MWR at Fort Benning to pay for the buses. And so we ask fans, or we ask businesses to help us with $150 donation to get you tickets to the games, and it also helps support a bus, or as part of the bus, and soldiers to the game. So you can always call the office, 706-322-3336. Ask for Terry. They'll turn in all the bus for that game, but it's a great night.
A true staff and ownership shared effort. We're going to, in addition, thank key sponsors of the night, USAA, Military Insurers, and Headquarter Nissan is a major sponsor of Military Appreciation Night as well. I know that Liberty Utilities will come in as they did last year, and the Wounded Warriors Association is a big part of this too. So just want to let companies know that not only, and organizations, churches, individuals who may want to honor the memory of a loved one, as some do, it is possible not only to sponsor a bus, get your logo and some recognition in the program on our website and on the public address system, but you can also purchase at half price tickets for the basic trainees who we are not only busing in, but otherwise providing complimentary tickets. So at half price tickets at $6 in the upper level for the trainees will make that camouflage wave as effective as ever. And would you say that the players feed off that energy from the chanting?
When they do all that chanting and they do all their stuff from Fort Benning, the fun part is you see the fans turn around with their cameras, videotaping it, taking pictures. So it's a great night. If you've never experienced it, it's definitely something worth experiencing.
Right, Military Appreciation. We owe a big thank you to MWR, Morale, Welfare, Recreation Directorate, and Shannon Beck. She coordinates with our Tanima Willick many on-field activities. It's always a thrill to see soldiers rappelling from the ceiling, delivering the first ball, the game ball.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, the Maneuver Center of Excellence band performing the national anthem, to me, is a highlight. I think they're an outstanding musical ensemble. We'll have a color guard, we'll have Commanding General probably doing the opening coin toss, and soldiers all night long, the contests on the field. So Military Appreciation Night for the Lions will be Saturday, May 11th, and a biggie. Let's pause now for our second commercial break. When we come back, we'll kind of wrap things up here, cover a little untouched ground. This is Roar Time, and thanks for watching. We'll be back in a moment.
At Rivertown Buick GMC, we're proud to support the Columbus Lions, our hometown team. And we support you with our low price promise. We'll meet or beat any dealership's price, or you get $1,000. Plus, Rivertown Buick GMC always has your back with the right way guarantee, featuring limited lifetime powertrain protection. And of course, we always give you a deal to roar about. Only at Rivertown Buick GMC.
USAA gives me the peace of mind and the security just like the Marines did. At one point I did change to a different company with car insurance and I was not happy with the customer service. We have switched back over and we feel like we're back home now. We're the Williams family and we're USAA members for life.
It's Love Your Car Month at Napa.
I love a good filter.
And whether you live under the hood,
horsepower,
or have never popped the hood,
door power,
your car deserves some love. That's why all month long we've got great deals for your vehicle. Because when it comes to caring for your car, all you need is Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
We're back at Roar Time, the edition of the bye week, the first bye week in the Lions schedule. I'm Rick Jacobson with head coach Jason Gibson, and it is time for the plays of the week. Sort of like David Letterman's top 10, but without as much intended humor. And let's start. This is all coming from the Jacksonville game at the Civic Center this past weekend. Your Midas of Columbus player of the game would be?
I've got Demario Donnell. He had a pick, 3 tackles. He had a pass breakup. He's playing great. He's got 2 games, 2 picks. He's on point. He's a steady in the defensive backfield. He's doing great. So.
And I'm just looking. He played at Tennessee Tech.
Tennessee Tech played the CIF last year. He was first team all CIF last year for that league and had a lot of interceptions there as too. So he's a veteran. He gets it, and he's continuing to get better, especially with our schemes. So that's why I feel good about the defense. I count him as a vet.
What city did he play for in that Champions
Amarillo.
League? Amarillo, Texas. Okay. So Demario Donnell is the Midas of Columbus player of the game. Now we shift over to the Sprague Supply, Napa Parts, offensive player of the game.
I'll go with Paris Mack. Paris had, double checking, he had 7 catches for 105 yards, 1 touchdown. That's a pretty good average per catch. He could have had 10 catches for 150 and 3 touchdowns. We missed him a bunch. He's definitely an explosive player, and he's without a doubt the offensive player of the game.
Terrific, terrific. And I'm always going to have a soft spot for him because he went to school where my wife did.
Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Arkansas Pine Bluff. Okay, now we shift over to the Air Force Reserve Defensive Player of the game.
Shadowell Finnick. Shadowell had a great game. He had to cover one of the top receivers in the league. He had 5 tackles, 6 total, 2 unassisted. He had 1 pass breakup. He's probably going to be a first-team All-NAL player by the end of the year. He's just a great player. We got him and DeMario out there playing right now well together, and that's the kind of bond that I want. I want them to continue to play together. At the end of the season, you're going to see a tremendous chemistry.
Fabulous. Okay, a couple more to go. We've got, of course, the All-State, Sean McGarry, good hands catch of the game.
Paris Mack, first touchdown of the game, we threw it. Quarterback got hit. Paris literally had to stop and go back through the defensive back. I thought he was going to drop, but it was a really good catch. It's good for him. There's 2 awards in 1 week. hopefully we can keep announcing his name.
Yeah, double dip for Paris Mack. Congratulations on those 2 awards. And finally, as far as players of the week go, one of our favorites, and a little off-camera discussion of who should get the Collision Surgeons of Columbus big hit of the game.
I'm not sure how many big hits there were, but LaMichael Fanning always puts a big hit on somebody. So we'll have to give that to him. LaMichael out of Harris County, played at Alabama. He's a really good defensive end. He's going to continually get better. One of the reasons why I feel comfortable going into any game we play, if he's on the field, I think we got a chance on defense, and got to give that to him.
There you have the 5 weekly players of the game and occasions of the game, you might say, with the big hit, sponsored by Roar Time advertisers, who we're very appreciative of too. I want to ask you one football question here. I did a little roster breakdown before the game, and I remember you're alluding to the fact that in the defense, the backfield was your biggest concern, or the one least further along. I see you have 7 D-backs on the roster. Does that reflect that you're still seeing who can do the job, or just the overall talent level and depth?
Overall talent level and depth. You know, so we got a lot of guys that can play. It's just a matter of figuring out, kind of have an idea who our top 4 are, and you know, until they get, you know, last year was just too much of a rotating at DB. It was DB here this week, that week. And I think this year we're going to try to maintain that chemistry and stick with it and see where it takes us.
Okay, we'll be interested to watch who survives this battle. Quick recap on league standings at this point. You'll see the Carolina Cobras and New York Streets on top at 2-0. The Lions and Orlando are 0-2, and of course that would leave. Oh, excuse me, I'm wrong about that. The Lions and Massachusetts Pirates are 0-2. The 2 Florida teams are each 1-1. Looking ahead, of course, a bye week. Now, what kind of schedule do you have for the players this week?
3 days this week. We're off. You know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Come back Monday work week. Some of the guys need it. Early bye week. And just get back to work on Monday.
Will next week be a regular
Absolutely.
schedule? With typically, you're looking at film review on Monday nights.
Film review on Monday, practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, walk through Friday, game on Saturday. So a full week. They need it. We need it. We got to keep this talent level. We got to keep pushing our process, keep pushing our way of football, and eventually it will click. And when it clicks, watch out.
And you're still high on Luke Collis being the man at QB?
We're good. We're good.
Okay. There you have it. Coach Gibson predicts, and I think we all feel very good about our chances to play well against Orlando. Second time around.
Right.
It'll be Saturday, May 4th, again, First Responders Night, as well as Central High School State Champions Night, followed a week later on the 11th with Military Appreciation Night. Again, thank you so much, folks, for watching Roar Time. We'll be back next week, 8 o'clock airtime live, and a couple of rebroadcasts. Of course, don't forget, if you missed the show, if you're not in the viewing area of CTV Beam, you can pick up the show on both ColumbusLions.net and on CTVBeam.com. So, and YouTube for the live telecasts of the home games I mentioned coming up. Folks, thanks for watching. We'll be back with another edition of Roar Time next week.